तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuigrunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and chapter wise it is 14th chapter. Instruction to Vaishnavas and Brahmos, but we have not yet come across Vaishnavas or Brahmos, and now we are entering the conversation of Wednesday, September 26, 1883. There were very few devotees with the Master Wednesday, for most of them came on Sundays. The householder devotees or others also, students, because they did not have holiday on other days. Rakhal and Latu were living with him the greater part of the time. So Latu was perhaps always there, and Rakhal now and then used to stay with other. So most of the time, M arrived in the afternoon and found the Master seated on the small coach. The conversation turned to Narendra. Now, for the last several days, we are finding this more often than not, that either Narendra is present or in his absence, Thakur is talking about Narendra. And that is why in Sardan Swamiji's Great Master, the 5th volume, he has named as Sri Ramakrishna in Divine Mood and Narendranath. He says now Thakur's life and conversations were so much mixed with Narendra's character and Narendra's life that I had to name like this. And so we find that Thakur is caring very much about Narendra. Why? Two things. One is that Sardan Swamiji has explained there. One is that Narendra had many wrong ideas due to his Western education and Brahma Samaj. And one of them was that God is Nirakar, not Sakar. And Sakar may be a lower stage that we'll find here. And Thakur wanted that Narendra has 18 powers, he has said, like one by which Keshav Chandra has become world famous, like that 18 powers Narendra had. So Thakur wanted that if Narendra's ideas remain narrow, he will make a havoc in this world. Because of his powers, he will influence the whole world with a narrow idea. So that was the main cause of Thakur's worry about Narendra. Secondly, there was no greater recipient than Narendra. And Narendra's buddhi especially was better than anybody else. So Thakur thought that if Narendra catches my universal ideas correctly, the whole world will be benefited. Or otherwise it will be spoiled. Another point is that Thakur's love for Narendra and Narendra's love for Thakur knew no bounds. Nobody in the world, I have to make an exception if you say, of Holy Mother. Other than nobody in the world has loved Thakur as much as Narendra has done, and equally the other side. So these are the various reasons due to which Thakur these days is continuously thinking of Narendra. So automatically some other devotees have come. Narendra has not come. Narendra may come on Sundays or some other days. So the conversation turned to Narendra. Master to M. Have you seen Narendra lately? So because he has not come, and Master was in a way friend to Narendra, so have you seen him lately? Now with a smile he is telling something. That means Narendra's ideas were not ripe at that time. So this smile. He said of me, he still goes to the Kali temple. Now what is the meaning of this still? He has realized, he has Nirvikar Samadhi, he has seen God face to face, that Narendra has clearly understood. And this Kali temple and others may be useful at the lower stage. So now why should he go there? He might have gone once upon a time when his ideas were not ripe. That is how Narendra is thinking. And now that he has realized God, why should he now go to Kali temple? But he will not, Narendra is telling, when he truly understands. So perhaps he has seen God, but he has not truly understood that God is beyond forms. So this is Naren's unripe ideas about the Master. And Master is laughing on that, smiling on that, because he knows that it is just the reverse. He has realized God, and as a stable bhava, he has chosen God's motherhood. Because that would be, for example, to all the people of the world, Thakur has harmonized all ideas through his Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But next to that, a common platform where all people could be harmonized or all people could stay is the motherhood of God. Because that is the nearest relation in this world. Apart from, of course, husband and wife, but a stable husband and wife relation is too intense. But for a stable relation, that is the best relation. And that is why Thakur has assumed that relation, naturally for him. Otherwise, he was born in Vaishnava Sampradaya. He was born in Rama worshippers. But when he had to worship Kali in the temple, he took Shakti Diksha so that he can be fit to worship. But then, after that, he had Nirvikal Samadhi, and then he wants to have a stable bhav with God, and that he chose as mother. But Narendra has not understood all that. Though he has so much love for Thakur, so much respect for Thakur, because he sees in Thakur God realization. But even then, buddhi-wise, when he analyzes, he thinks he has not yet reached the goal. And so he will understand when he will understand, then he will believe that need not go to Kali temple. In Thakur's case, there was no need to go to Kali temple. He had made that as his habit to stay a stable life in this world. Otherwise, if his mind soars to Nirvikalpa all the time, the purpose of his incarnation would not be served. His people are very much dissatisfied with him because he comes here now and then. So that was Narendra did not have this as obstruction. But Thakur is rather telling, in spite of that, he comes. And sometimes he may come hidingly. Of course, Narendra would not do anything hidingly, but that was a fact. And Thakur is describing that fact in a practical way. The other day, he came here in a hired carriage, and Surendra paid for it. That means it was not Surendra's carriage. Narendra did not spend his family money because he had no money in those days. So he had to take a hired carriage. But then Surendra paid for it. Because of this, Narendra's aunt almost had a row with Surendra about it. So Narendra's aunt, whole family. So Narendra's aunt went and quarreled with Surendra, almost. Why did you take him? Why did you help him to go? The master left the coach and went to the northeast veranda where Hazra, Kishori, Rakhal and a few other devotees were sitting. So though he has mentioned very few with him, Kishori also is there. And now there are two Kishoris. Master Masha's younger brother is Kishori. And Master Masha's brother-in-law is Kishori. And that was more attracted to Thakur. So which Kishori we do not know, but Kishori also was sitting. And a few other devotees were sitting. So when Master came in the afternoon, he has said that few devotees with the Master, very few. So not that there were none, these were there. But they were in the veranda. Master to him, how is it that you are here today? Have you no school? Because Wednesday is not holiday. So how he has come? M. Our school closed today at 1:30. So any time he found, he used to rush to. That was the attraction. Master, why so early? M. Vidyasagar visited the school. He owns the school. So the boys get a half holiday whenever he comes. Whenever he comes, the big visitor, his own school. So that day boys are released. So he found time. Master. Now Vidyasagar's name is mentioned. So Thakur is commenting. Why doesn't Vidyasagar keep his word? He had promised that I will visit there one day. If one who holds to truth and looks on woman as his mother does not realize God, then Tulsi is a liar. So this is a quotation from Tulsi Das. Two conditions. Satyavachan, Parastri Matru Saman, ऐसे हरि ना मिले तुलसी झूठ जवान. Translation we have read already. So by two things Tulsi says you will get Rama. Stick to truth, Satya Vachan. What you have said you have to do. And what you have experienced, that only you have to talk. And Parastri, because Tulsidas was a married person. And he is talking this to people in general, householders mostly. So they have their own wives. And Tulsi is not asking to look at his own wife as mother. Though Thakur did that also. But Tulsi is saying like this. Limited, but absolute truth, because he says Tulsi jhoot is about. So, Parastri Matru Saman. That is a standard teaching in Hinduism. The other day Vidyasagar said he would come here and visit me, but he hasn't kept his word. And now he is discussing the inner thing of this, or why he has done like that. There is a big difference between a scholar and a holy man. Vidyasagar is a scholar. Holy man means sadhu. The mind of a mere scholar is fixed on woman and gold, but the sadhu's mind is on the lotus feet of Hari. It reminds me, there is a novel in French, translated in English. The Thais or some name is there. A girl had two friends in the school. The girl became a prostitute later on, and one of them became a holy man, and one of them a philosopher. So the philosopher comes to the sadhu and says that we have some duty about that girl. Why not you come with me and we shall lift her from that place? Sadhu said, it is none of my business. And I warn you, you also do not do that. You may fall. He did not care. He went and stayed somewhere near, and every day would go on preaching to her. The result was that girl came away, and this man lost his character. That is the story. So scholar and holy man different. Holy man pays no heed. A scholar says one thing and does another. That is possible with a scholar. I am reminded by one more scholar. In Nagpur, there was one Narayan Shastri Dravid. He had studied philosophy by both ways. The Western method, he was a PhD elite, and Eastern method, he was a Shastri also. And he was a top class philosopher. He could understand any philosophical idea in a minute. And short height, and his innumerable children. He was a great friend to the ashram, but that was his life. So Thakur is telling, the mind of a mere scholar is fixed on woman and God. Now from other points of view I am telling, he might not have thought of any other woman, and he was very friend to the ashrama. He was in the university. So in university library, any new book came, he would come and tell about that book to the ashrama. Your library, he was a very favorite of our library. And you please purchase that book. And if you found any new book in our library, he used to purchase that for university. Great friend. And for him, that means people are generally not allowed in the library to go near the books. But for him, everything was open, used to be open. Anyway, one incident small comes to my mind. One author wrote a book, 500, more than 500 pages, and half of it preface or introduction, and half of it poems. And he says that I have discovered a new philosophy. It came for review in the Marathi magazine Jivan-Vikas. So the chief editor, he said, send it to Narayan Shastri. So we sent it to him. Within 3 days, perhaps, he sent back the review. that this is nothing but old Parsi dualism. So he could gauge it immediately what it is. Anyway. The words and actions of a man who has given his mind to the lotus feet of God are altogether different. But it is quite a different matter with the sadhu. In Benares, I saw a young sannyasi who belonged to the sect of Nanak. This is another very important information for the modern men, both inside the Sikhs and outside. The present Sikhs believe that Nanak never preached monasticism. He has almost compulsorily told people to earn money and part of it he should donate to the spread of Sikhism. But here we find sadhu belong to the cult of Nanak. I myself visited when our revered Prabhananji came to Chandigarh. There was a girl, unmarried, pure Sikh girl, becoming devoted to Thakur. And there was some problem of history. So she wanted us to visit a sadhu's ashram, Sikh sadhu's ashram near Ludhiana. And her father was to take us there. But father was to come from somewhere. And we three, Prabhananji, myself and that girl, we went together. And she is waiting outside the door that how can we enter till my father comes. I told Prabhananji, Maharaj, this is a sadhu's ashram. We are sadhus. We will straight away go inside. We need not wait for anybody. And we went. And we received very cordially. And they showed us throughout the ashram. And I had also told Prabhananji, Maharaj, today you are going to get the best woolen shawl. And then, after the visit was over, we were taken to the Mahanta. And he presented 2 woolen shawls, one to Prabhananji, one to me. And within that shawl, he had kept 500 rupees note for him and for me. So I told, Prabhanji said, you had already told about shawl. I said, I did not know about the 500 rupees. And then the man who is showing us, telling we are like Ramakrishna Mission. That means some are specially trained to do the account, some like this, some like this. That is what he told. And there, about 220, more than 200 sannyasis were there. And maybe 25 or so sannyasis also were there. All 6.
What is the name of the order?
Vihangam.
Yeah.
Vihangam is the name of the order. Then following Nanak, what happened? That some people did not join the mainstream of Sikhism. Nanak's disciples. And they are all called Nirankaris. They also were sannyasis. Then some scholars of Kashi went to become disciples of Guru Govind Singh, the 10th Guru. And seeing that they are Sanskrit scholars and Pandits, he said, you go back to Kashi, learn Vedanta nicely and then come to me. And he created another sect for them. They are called, our kutia in Rishikesh, his address was near that. Nirmal Pantha he created for them. So many sadhu sampradayas are there within Sikhism, followers of Nana. So they are followers of Govinda, who was the 10th follower of Nana. Now the present Sikhism, as we understand, can be called Jat Sikhism. There are four castes in Sikhism, though they say we have no caste. There are Brahmin Sikhs, Kshatriya Sikhs, Vaishya Sikhs are the Jat Sikhs, and Shudra Sikhs. And Shudra Sikhs do not have the same life as the others. They are also. And they are dominated by the Jat Sikhs today. And that is why these ideas have come. Let me tell you another thing, my personal thing. I was in Rishikesh, and for 5 months, I got my food by begging, Madhukari. Now, if there was the picture of Nanak on any house, absolutely sure that I will get Bhiksha. And the main teaching of Nanak for the householders is that you should worship a sannyasi like a god. If there are no sannyasis, from where they will get to worship? So it is only adhikari way that Nanak has preached. That is what I wanted to tell. Shall I tell a story? Once I went to a house with Nanak picture, and it had, that means at a long distance, I could listen to the sound of the stove cooking. So what we call the inner and outer. And our rule is to say Narayanari. If nobody listens, after 2 minutes, you again say Narayanari. And if it does not listen, then you have to come away. So I told twice. And I could understand that the lady must not have heard my voice because so much distance and the stove burning. So I turned around. And the moment I turned around, the husband of that Sikh woman, he was a shopkeeper. So he came from his shop on a cycle. And he said, "Did you get your Bhiksha?" I said, "No, perhaps my voice did not reach there." He said, "Maharaj, don't make me commit a sin. Please don't go. Please don't go." And he went and scolded his wife like anything. I could hear that. And the wife was apologizing. I did not hear his voice. So he came and gave me Bhiksha. One example of how they worship the sannyasis. Anyway, so because here in Benares, I saw a young sannyasi who belonged to the sect of Nanak in Kashi. He was the same age as you. You means he's talking to M. Huh? So M was 27, 28 in those days. So like that. He used to refer to me as the loving monk. This also I have to explain. One of my teachers in the Belur Math Professionals Training Center was Gundamani Maharaj, Tirthananda Swami. And he said that the Paramahamsas were divided in two types. The Jnani Paramahamsa and the Premi Paramahamsa. I heard from his mouth. So, the man who harps upon Nirgun Brahma or transcendence is Jnani. And one who knows the immanence of God is a Premi. And so, this he found in Thakur, that he believes in the immanent God more, so he is calling him loving monk. Premi Sadhu?
Very simple. Now let's say Badiki.
Oh, here. Tomar mato. Amai bolto Premi Sadhu. His sect has a monastery in Banaras. In Banaras, all the sects of Hinduism, I would say, even the Jainas, Buddhas, and everybody has this establishment. I was invited there one day. I found that the Mohanta was like a housewife. Means what? I asked him, what is the way? Housewife means he was busy serving all the sadhus, looking after their needs. For the Kali Yuga, he said, the path of devotion is enjoined by Narada. So because they found Thakur as Premik Sadhu, so they invited him. And he said, as preached by Narada, enjoined by Narada. He was reading a book. When the reading was over, he recited, Vishnu is in water, Vishnu is on land, Vishnu is on the mountain top, the whole world is pervaded by Vishnu. At the end he said, peace, peace, abiding peace. So you understand this point? There is another gross misconception in the present day, that Sikhism is outside Hinduism. And see, that man told about Nardi Bhakti and he was reading everything about Vishnu. So, Sikhism is a sect of Hinduism, laying emphasis on the Nirakara aspect of God. Laying emphasis only. Let me tell you more things. In this age of separatism, they found that their holy book, the Guru Granth Sahib, has so much ideas of Hinduism mixed with it. And they wanted to prove they are separate. So they thought the word Rama should be removed from the Granth. And they find that if Rama is removed, 80% or 85% of Guru Granth will not exist. Another fact that, anyway, Guru, within them there is a Shabda Prat. Some sect. That means the Sadharan Sikhs believe that after 10 Gurus there will be no Guru. Namdhari. Namdhari means initiated by somebody. So they believe in a Guru Parampara. And they have their mutt somewhere near Ludhiana. And they specialize in Dhrupad singing. They think music is the best way to approach God. As suited to the people of Kali. They were very devoted to us. We had a great musician, Yashpalji, head of the music department in Punjab University. And they used to invite him to teach them Drupad. And once I wanted on Swami Vivekananda is fond of Drupad. So I asked Yashpalji, can you present Drupads? He said, I will bring the Drupad specialist. And they did not charge me 1 paisa. They came by their own vehicles, etc. etc. Namdhari. One day he was reading the Gita. So, who is this? He?
Mahanta.
whether the Mahanta or the Sadhu who had visited him. Because I don't think Thakur might have gone there twice. Huh? Na, ek din Gita Path kar le. Oh, same. It is continuation. Okay. He was so strict about his monastic rules that he would not read a holy book looking at a worldly man. Not only women, but a sansari man he will not face. Strict monastic rules. So he turned his face toward me and his back on Mathur, who was also present. It was this holy man who told me of Narada path of devotion as suited to the people of the Kali Yuga. So same mantra. M. Are not sadhus of his class followers of the Vedanta? Because sadhus, generally sannyasis are Vedantis. M. Master. Yes, they are. But they also accept the path of devotion. Also. They are Vedantis. But these Nirmalas were created by Govind Singh. So, where is the Nirmalas? Followers of Nana. Now the Nirmalas have this Guru Grantha Sahib with a Advaitic commentary. They said they would give a copy to me, but it did not happen. But there's a full Advaitic commentary on Guru Grantha Sahib. So they are. I am reminded of so many things. The Mahanta of that Nirmala Khadai Rishikesh, when Bhandaras were given, Sadhu's feast, he used to chant a shloka, which was an imitation, you may say, of the Rama shloka, which contains all the 7 vibhaktis of Rama. Ramo Rajamuni Sada Vijayate. So, Swasti Shri Guru Nanako Vijayate, like that is start. Once a man said to me that he would perform the Purascharana of the Gayatri. That is Ishan. I said, why don't you do that according to the Tantra? In the Kali Yuga, the discipline of Tantra is very efficacious. You know, Thakur himself is telling that. Practice according to Tantra. I told you the proverb among all old Bengalis of that time, to what sampradaya you belong. They used to say, Siddhante Vedanti Anusthane Tantri. Because Tantra has made many principles of Vedanta physically practical. And that is more efficacious. It is extremely difficult to perform the rites enjoined in the Vedas. So, Karma Kanda and Tantra, there is a difference. Karma Kanda is out and out dualism. Further, at the present time, people lead the life of slaves. You understand this point? Swamiji has used this. Britishers, they are slaves to the Britishers. And one who is slave to Mlechas loses his Brahminhood immediately. That is what our Shastras declare. Swamiji was challenged by some scholars in Madras that you are not a Brahmin, how should we accept you as a sannyasi? He said, I might not be a Brahmin. Read Manusmriti. It tells that all the Trivarnikas are qualified for sannyas. And I'm not taking proud of even Trivarnikas. Present day, anybody can become a sannyasi. On the other hand, you people are serving Britishers for so many years. How you call yourself Brahmins? So that is what Thakur is referring to. So if you want to follow the Shastras, this is what the Shastras do. Further, at the present, these people lead to the life of slaves. Footnote is given, perhaps the master was referring to the foreign rule in India. Definitely he was referring. Because Swami has used the same thing afterwards. It is said that those who serve others for 12 years or so become slaves. Because people lead the life of slaves. So he said they become slaves. They are not, cannot be considered as Brahmins. अच्छा अच्छा दासत्व करले ताई होए जाए. That means you call it scheduled caste or whatever you like. You become a das. No Brahmins. যাদের এতদিন দাসত্ব করলে তাদের সত্তা পেয়ে যায়. So mleccha. While serving their master, they acquire the rajas, the tamas, the spirit of violence, the love of luxury, and the other traits of their masters. So they don't become dasas, they become like the mlechas. And mlechas like this, spirit of violence, jiva hinsa, vilas, रजत तमो गुण यही सब ऐसे पड़ेगी. But they also enjoy pension after their term of service is over. Not only do they serve their masters, but they also enjoy pension after their term of service is over. So that is the British government service. So they still are slaves, though they are not actually serving. Once a Vedantic monk came here. Here means Dakshineshwar. He used to dance at the sight of a cloud. He would go into an ecstasy of joy over a rainstorm. He would get very angry if anyone went near him when he meditated. So this anger was a show. One day I came to him while he was meditating, and that made him very cross. He discriminated constantly. Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory. Thakur is plainly telling that he became cross with me. Since the appearance of diversity is due to Maya, he walked about with a prism from a chandelier in his hand. Chandelier is no hanging lights, and they have prismatic hangings. One sees different colors through the prism. In reality, there is no such thing as color. Likewise, nothing exists in reality except Brahman, but there is an appearance of the manifold because of Maya, egoism. Maya has added the word egoism. The first representation of Maya is Aham. So we know about Maya because we see ego. He would not look at an object more than once, lest he should be deluded by Maya and attachment. So see, the sadhu's behavior is showing. He would discriminate while taking his bath at the sight of birds flying in the sky. Thinking, same, Brahman is alone, is real, is unreal. He knew grammar. He stayed here for 3 days. One day he heard the sound of a flute near the embankment and said that a man who had realized Brahman would go into samadhi at such a sound. So this sadhu, we do not know anywhere else. That somebody who sang before mother and all that is different. Is a sadhu with a prism, that is how we can remember him. And he knew the Anahata. So, by distant music, he would go into samadhi. Flute.
Shanai.
Sahanai. Near the embankment, also.
This musical instrument is this Sahanai. Posta.
One or two lines are missed. Why they show to the Western people now? Because they will not be able to take the spirit. When we looked into Bengali, there is one more line in that. Thakur is plain language. I will read that. Dujane baye jetum. To answer calls of nature, there was that fine group. And both of them used to go together. Because while meditating, Thakur had gone ahead this stuff. But otherwise, they were friends. And they did not find any lajja between them. Musalmaner pukur shune har jal nile na. So there is a Gazi Talab, na? There is a pukur within Dakshineshwar.
It's still there. There's still a pond, the same or different one.
Pond.
Even now there is a pond.
There are many ponds. Hans Pukur, Basan Majar Pukur, and there is perhaps one Gazi Pukur. So some Muslims own that within the Dakshineshwar area. So he heard that and did not take water from there. Strict sadhu was. Haldari our Vyakaran jigas korle, Vyakaran jane. So Haldari talked about grammar and he knew that. हिंदी निकालने चलो एक दिन पोस्तार धारे सनायर शब्द सुने बोल लो ठीक है so it is not a flute then how will describe shani some mouth pipe or some name is there like that bagpipe in the military while talking about the monk the master showed his devotees the manners and movements of a Paramahansa. The gait of a child, face beaming with laughter, eyes swimming in joy, and body completely naked. Oh. Thakur showed, not that he described about that man, but talking about Paramahansa, Thakur became like that. How he became? Gait of a child, face beaming with laughter, eyes swimming in joy, and body completely naked. Then he again took his seat on the small coach and poured out his soul enthralling words. So every day we are finding some new facet of Thakur and his associations. Master to him, I learned Vedanta from Nangka. Guru's name should not be taken among sannyasis or others also. And his Guru Totapuri, who initiated him in sannyas, he belonged to the Naga sadhus. He used to remain naked. So Thakur is calling him the naked sadhu. Nangka is the Bengali word for naked. But because Thakur is using it as a proper name, they have given Nangka. Brahman alone is real, the world is illusory. This Totapuri taught Thakur. The magician performs the magic, his magic. He produces a mango tree which even bears mangoes. But this is all sleight of hand. The magician alone is real. Sleight of hand.
Magic.
Huh?
Next page.
Yes, a baji. No, sleight of hand is not correct. No. Baji means magic. No, sleight of hand is very different. Totapuri is teaching him, na? Now in India, there were magicians. Rope trick is famous. Understood? So they would show so many things, but they were unreal. Sleight hand is very, very different. Now this is a very important thing. Huh? Shall I tell you 2 examples? You know perhaps. The magicians, they hypnotism, mesmerism, that means they put our minds into some spell. There was one great magician in Bengal, P.C. Sarkar, senior, the present P.C. Sarkar's father. And he had announced that in the Star Theatre, he would show his magic at 10 a.m. And it was packed even from 9 a.m. And 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, he came at 12. And as he entered, he looked at his watch and I came exactly at 10. And all people saw their hands and yes, yes. And then he said, this was my first trick. So is this sleight of hand here? Now his son P.C. Sarkar. There is somebody falsely honored by many people, but I will be straight. Satya Sai Baba. Now the junior P.C. Sarkar sent his card to him. He did not allow him to come. So this P.C. Sarkar joined the line of general devotees and went. And as he went to Satya Sai Baba did something like this and kept 2 pedas on his hand. He showed that pedas to everybody, did this hand like that and put 2 rasgullas on Baba's hand. And he said, my friends, sleight of hand is different from magic which we do. So some friends who were totally dependent on Satya Sai Baba and got ruined, where devotees they came to be associated with me in Chennai. And they told that in his house there is big store of vibhutis and this and this and this, which he shows in the magic. So sleight of hand. Sleight of hand is different from magic.
Magic is some form of siddhi,
Huh?
Some form of siddhi or like what is it?
Yes. In India was famous for that. In Ceylon. Ceylon is a part of India only.
No, is it siddhi? Like some spiritual yogic powers or something? What is it?
It is a trick by mentally deluding people, not sleight of hand. And it may contain some siddhis, the old magicians of India. No, a magician, that famous rope trick. A magician comes and salutes you on the stage. From somewhere a rope comes in his hand. And he throws that rope and it stands erect. Then he himself climbs that rope with instruments of war. And as if he is fighting with somebody. And his own pieces fall down. And then he again salutes you. I am telling of a similar thing which Swami Vivekananda has described. In Ceylon, a man made a girl, small girl, sitting on a three-legged stool. Ceylon governor was there present. This man removed one stick, second stick, third stick, and that girl is sitting. So the governor thought there is some very sleight of hand. So he moved his sword below that, but his sword moved. There was nothing. All three sticks removed, and the girl is sitting. So magic. So please, I described all this because the English translation is, but this is all sleight of hand. The original word is magic, but this is all magic. The magician alone is real. So this is how Nagta told Thakur. That is telling. Nagta would not deal with sleight of hands. M. It seems that the whole of life is a long sleep. That means we are seeing everything in dream. That has entered Master Mahashaya, Thakur's company. This much I understand, that we are not seeing things rightly. We perceive the world with a mind by which we cannot comprehend even the nature of the sky. So how can our perception be correct? He talks of nature of the sky. Immanuel Kant has said we cannot understand the real nature of a grain of sand even. When we try to understand, we apply our mind. So it is what is caught in the web of our mind only we know. We do not know the reality. Master, there is another way of looking at it. Sky. Huh? We do not see the sky rightly. It looks as if the sky were touching the ground at the horizon, isn't it? For everybody. How can a man see correctly? His mind is delirious, like the mind of a typhoid patient. So it is all a problem of our mind. Why the sky appears touching the earth? Sky has no shape. Man's eyesight is a limit. So same range here, there, everywhere. So it is touching the earth. The master sang in his sweet voice, what really is fever is that I suffer from, O mother, thy grace is my only cure. Eki Vikar Shankari, Krupa Charanatari Pele Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is the chief of doctors. So that will cure me. Hey, time is up. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibirīditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Vrinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.